Hello, welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on Make It Monday. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I'm so pleased that you've joined me for this video. This week we are making this fabulous box. I love this, it's fabulous. It's a decent size box, so you can get plenty of goodies in it, and it's really dark in there, isn't it? With a really fabulous, well-fitting lid. And this particular one I made for a team training event, a good month or so ago now, where I demonstrated the fine tip glue resist technique. So I coloured, these flowers are stamped from, I want to say Birthday Blooms, and in Archival I've coloured them in with the fine tip glue, let it dry, and then I've inked over the top. But I'm not going to do that for you today because I have done that in a fairly recent video. I will link in the down bar below. But I have got a different technique for you today. And we're going to make the box as well. So we better get started because it's going to be busy. So the box first. Once again, I have a two-tone combination. This one is Crumb Cake and Island Indigo. And today I have got Berry Burst and Soft Smoky Slate for you. The reason this box is the size it is because of two die sets we carry in the catalogue. The layering squares and the stitched squares. Because I wanted this to be highlighted, I wanted a stitched square, and then I wanted a mat of a layering square, and then I wanted the box. So that's where I've got the measurements from. So if they seem a little bit odd, I apologise. They're also all currently in Imperial, because that is how our dies are measured, basically. I will put them into metric, and the metric measurements will be available on my blog, link in the down bar below, but I haven't got them to hand at the moment. So the box base is a piece of cardstock that measures 11.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and the lid, and this is where the well-fitting lid bit comes in, is that this is a really specific size. So this square is 3 inches and 13/16, which is a really weird size, and I know it, but that's the size it needs to be to fit the box properly. So let's do our scoring. I've got my Simply Scored scoring tool. We're going to score on the long side first at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11 inches. And then we are going to turn it onto the short side, and we're going to score at 2 3/4, like so. Then we're going to take our little smoky slate square for our lid, and we're going to score on all four sides at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 and 1/2 and 1/2 and again. Okay. So, fold and burnish on all of your score lines. Like that. This is a really simple box to put together. A nice, easy, simple box with a lid, but really effective. And with these boxes, quite often it's the measurements that are the tricky bit. Once you've got the measurements, they're relatively straightforward to put together. So I'm going to pop that off to one side for a second, and I'm just going to grab my long-handled scissors, and we're going to just chop up the one side. We're going to chop up on each score line to that horizontal. So I'm going to just take the skinny bit off the end, and then I will chop up the sides as straight as possible, which I know is not easy. hence the long blade. If you've got a longer bladed scissor, it makes chopping longer things easier. So the longer your handle, or sorry, the longer the blade, the easiest. Hence why I picked up these slightly scary owl scissors in comparison with my Stampin' Up paper snips, which I love, but then they're just too short to do that job. Can you see the difference? So, before we assemble this box, because it's basically going to go around like that and as our box, let's just do the same thing for our lid. So I'm going to chop there's like little squares on the corner, and we're going to chop one side of the square and just taper it in like that. So in one side and notch, and turn it 90 degrees every time, so that you've then got one of those on each corner. So our decoration, I'm going to put it on now, so that when we assemble the box, it's going to be, it's easier to put it on when it's flat. That's what I'm trying to say. My brain has now switched off. I've had too much coffee, and that's it's all going to go pear-shaped from here. So the stamp set I've got today is Snowflake Sentiments. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Han, you've got Berry Burst and you're doing Christmas. Yes, I am. I am doing pink and grey Christmas. Sorry, but I love it. And I've only picked out one stamp, and that is this one here. This fabulous snowflake that I am completely obsessed with. So, what I have already done is I have die cut the third largest square from Whisper White, and I have stamped in Versamark the snowflake, and I've heat embossed it in clear. So you can see that's all shiny, which is what this looked like before I added the ink. So it's another resist technique, but I've used heat embossing instead. So grab me a piece of scrap paper, and I've got a Berry Burst ink pad and a sponge, and we're just going to bring out that snowflake. So I ink up my sponge with my Berry Burst, start off my square and make little swirly circles to add your colour, just like that. I'm going to do the same for each one. And I'm taking the colour almost to a diagonal across our snowflakes. So up to that corner and across to that one. And make sure the whole snowflake is covered in ink. Like that. And I'm sure you're thinking, but Han, the snowflakes have now gone pink. Yes, they will go pink. That will happen. But what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the last piece of kitchen roll from the roll, because I need a new roll. I'm just going to rub over the top with our kitchen roll, and that will take some of the ink off. Now you could do the same with a sponge if you have a spare sponge, and it just buffs that ink, buffs that embossing powder that's all melted and shiny. And there we have our embossed resist technique. Really quick, really simple. So I have also then die cut some squares in Smoky Slate. I'm going to grab my fast fuse, and I'm just going to add on my embossed panels to my pieces of Smoky Slate. And these do line up really, really well. For all they're two different die sets, there are dies actually in each one that are exactly the same size. So you can always find the straight edge square that matches the stitched edge, and that is exactly the same for the circles, layering circles framelits and the layering ovals, because the stitched, my set is an absolute mess. The stitched shapes framelits have 3 different shapes in them. So there is a circles set of 4, there is a square set of 4, and there is an oval set of 4, and they do all coordinate with those layering circle, square and oval framelits, and they just don't quite fit. They one of those framelits that come on either side of a card, but I can't, my brain doesn't work that way, it just doesn't. So I've also got similar for the lid, but I haven't heat embossed it, and I didn't on the original version either. And this has a plain square in Whisper White that I am just going to add some Berry Burst to, just as a hint. Now the original does have a pull ribbon on the top, but I'm not going to do that this time. As pretty as it is, it needs to be a thin ribbon, and we just don't have a ribbon thin enough in Berry Burst, and I wanted to use Berry Burst, so that's the reason, basically. As sad as it is, that's the reason. So I'm going to pop some fast fuse on the back of that square. I'm going to layer it onto a stitched square of Smoky Slate, and then I'm going to grab a pack of dimensionals, and I'm using up the side pieces at the moment because let's not waste. And I'm just going to pop some of that on the back, and I will layer them onto this piece of Berry Burst here. This is another die cut square. It's the same size actually as the Smoky Slate ones. So you've got, they are the same size, then the Smoky Slate stitched square is the same size, and then this is the only square that's different because it's smaller. So let's pop it all together and we can adhere our box. So we'll do the lid first, and I'm going to, normally I would put my glue on there and then add it on, but because I've put dimensionals on it, I'm going to pop some fast fuse on the middle of my lid and just add that on, and then very carefully add fast fuse to each of the corners and just fold them around so that the score line here meets this free edge. Do that on all 4 sides like that, and we have our lid. And then with the box itself, we're going to put fast fuse down the skinny edge. I love this box. It's one of those boxes, like I said before, you could fit loads of stuff in it because it's just that really handy size. I'm thinking truffles, I'm thinking baby socks maybe. That would be really cute, wouldn't it, as a baby shower gift with little baby socks in it. That'd be lovely. I'm a bit baby obsessed at the moment. I found out last night as I filmed this, which is a good month ago for you guys, that one of my very good friends from university is expecting her first child, and so I got myself all broody because we have not got children, not because we don't want any, we just haven't got any as yet, and so so I'm now thinking of like all the cute little baby things. So fast fuse onto the bottom to make our, and I've done that wrong. Oh, do as I say and not do as I do sometimes. I will show you how to fix this problem. Glue dots. Glue dots are the answer to everything. Glue dot on paper piercer and just feed it in. That is because I'm thinking about babies and not concentrating on what I'm doing, and haven't stuck those on either. Distracted by the thought of babies. Okay, so fast fuse on the back of each one of these pieces, and we are going to very carefully stick them on. So it would be easier to do this before you manage to stick the whole thing together, but if you're like me and you're easily distracted, it's always possible. So it's just easier to get them lined up when it's laid flat. So I am also making sure that I put each one of the snowflakes in the same place. So they're all going on that lower corner. Like so. And that is my cute box. And the lid will fit on. It is a tight fit. It is snug. And that is completely purposeful, so it won't fall off. How fabulous are they? 2 boxes. Same measurements, look totally different. Thank you ever so much for joining me. As always, anything you have seen in this video you can purchase from my online store. Link is in the down bar below, or you can find it via my blog, stampinbyhannah.co.uk, or you can also put stampinbyhannah.stampinup.net into your web browser and you will find me there as well. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you again next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.